Today, we're going to be discussing why learning is so valuable in your life. Now, first, school ruined our perceptions and our views of learning. You see, right down there, that's us crying in front of the screen because we hate doing our schoolwork and it bloody sucks. For most of us, school just took a fat dump on the way we learn. It just they shat all over it and it's horrendous. It was tedious, boring, and outright painful. Okay, learning at school, it sucked. It really, really sucked. So when we think of learning, subconsciously we just like dread it. We hate it because that's what school did to us. They pull out these books and they're like, "Oh, you've got to give me a fucking essay in like 2 days from now and read this thing or whatever," and it just sucks. The way they taught us in school, at least the way I was taught, and many millions of others, everyone says how shit it is and how crap the system is and how much it derails children's and people's love for learning. Because when we were all like young, we'd take an interest in thing. We'd be curious. We'd want to find out, what does that do? What is this? How do you do that? But after school, it just took a big shit on it. But here's the thing, learning doesn't have to be shit. It can actually be quite enjoyable, especially if you do like the right things. And if you get things that you're genuinely interested in, and as well, if you learn, the right thing or whatever, you can turn it into cash. You can take your hobbies and turn it into money. In today's day and age, I believe that um, there's such a big like view and not view opportunity for people to turn things that they're interested in into cash. There's so many like ways that you can do that, especially like online and stuff. And that's kind of something that I want to do in my life, but we're not here to discuss that. We're here to discuss why you should be learning every day of your life. Here's the thing. What happens when you learn? Like, let's say we're talking about things that are sort of like in this sort of self-improvement sort of space, like mental health, exercise. Maybe you want to learn about being better at social skills, or learn about your purpose and Stoic philosophy, all this shit that I just listed, leadership and, man, I don't know, there's so many things. If you want to learn about different ways to make money, like sales, or, I don't know, there's writing stories, writing books. There's so many things that you can learn, literally just anything. But if we're talking about sort of like the self-improvement sort of things, or just stuff that's just generally like healthy for your life, things that'll not damage you, or not like a specific career kind of thing. What happens when you learn about it? Here's the thing. I gotta look over here to see what I wrote. When you learn, you gain insights, obviously. Like when you're reading a book, you're gaining insights from the book. And when you gain insights, you kind of get excited about them. You're like, "Oh, that's really cool. I kind of want to try this thing out. It's interesting. I want to I want to learn more, whatever." And then when you get excited about something and you want to take action on it, you end up taking action. And then when you take action on something that you learned, you get improvement. And just like that, from learning something, your life becomes better. And that's kind of the whole point of learning, especially if you're learning like those topics. You're gonna become, you'll build a healthier life, you'll be happier, and all of that stuff, and it's real sweet. And learning keeps you going. It's a lot of information here, I know. It'll keep you away from ruts. I've found in my life, when trying to break all the bad habits and get away from all that stuff, it's always in the periods where I'm actively learning a lot, or I'm spending a lot of time like reading books or watching long form videos on YouTube. When I'm actively learning, I've always found every single time that I stay away from ruts. But then when I stop learning, the moment you stop learning is when you start to slip back on the bad habits. The moment you're not actively gaining new insights and not falling through that little cute cycle domino effect thing, that's when you start to relapse on porn and video games, and that's when you start doom scrolling and staying locked away inside and all of that crap. It's always when you're not learning and when that happens. Boom, just like that. What happens when you stop learning? You're not going to get excited about these new insights. There's going to be nothing new to try out, nothing new to, test and do in your life. So you're going to stop taking action, because what is there to take action on? Oh, I already did that. It's boring, whatever. Because, you're not consistent enough to do all that shit. I mean, if you are, then maybe, but you always got to be learning. There's always got to be something new. So even if you are consistently doing the same thing because it was that good of an insight, it's still going to fucking fuck you in the ass. So you're going to stop taking action. You're going to slow down in life. You're not going to be improving as much of a thing as much. You'll plateau off, maybe even go down. You'll get bored, and then you'll just start relapsing in the bad habits because you got nothing to do. And that's the domino effect the other way. You either fall in like that. You either go improvement or you go to shit. Just two ways. I guess you can stay static in the middle if your life is really I don't know. We'll not go down there. So clearly, learning is very important, as I have thoroughly described through all of these past slides. But how can we learn? It's important, but how do you do it? How do you do it in a way that isn't boring as fuck? How do you do it in a way that won't really traumatize us from school? Firstly, we need to get a topic that you like. Find something that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be specific to anything. It can literally be anything. Preferably, obviously, it'll be something that will have a real world positive effect on your life. Maybe it could be an area that you lack in life. What if you have poor mental health, or you're getting shit sleep, or your health is bad? Maybe you even want to start a business. And you just don't know what the fuck, how it works, what to do, and you can buy a book on it or whatever and start reading and learning. So find something that you want to learn about, something that you're interested in, an area that you lack in life that you can improve upon, something that'll help you. And then all you got to do is just not overthink it and just learn it. There's so many sources to learn it. I've listed them all down. My favorite is the good old book. It's fucking glorious. There's long form videos on YouTube. The sketchy thing with YouTube is that there's a lot of shit out there, but there's also a lot of really good stuff out there. I suppose you could say the same for books. You have guides, PDFs, articles, courses. I don't really bother with those. I'd say books and long form YouTube videos are the best sources to learn, because obviously you're watching a YouTube video right now. You are learning right now. So good job, I guess. And then just learn about it. That's it. Find out what do you want to learn, how do I learn it, and just do it. Learn. Kabooey. Easy as that. And then once you just start going through that cycle of learning, you got yourself started, you're getting the insights, you're getting excited about them, you start taking action, and then your life begins to improve, just like that. Now, here's another method of learning. I will have to move my head out the way. I know. This is optional. There's a tutorial. I have the link there. I know you can't click on a fucking link there. I'll put it in the description. This is Ryan Holiday's method. He's written 12 books. Now, I don't know. He's an author, modern day stoic, good man. Saying that as if I know him personally. But here, so these are note cards, right? And this is I do this as well. I've got them in this little box here, and I can sort through them all and stuff. I've got one on mental health here. So I've written down on this thing: top 5 habits for mental health: meditation, gratitude, exercise, reading, outdoors. That I use that for a video. That little card there, I reuse that card a lot. Anyway. So what you do is, when you're learning, right, when you're reading a book or whatever the hell it is, you get those little index cards, these things, and you write down the insight in the index card, and then you put it in said little box, and there you go. It enters your like long-term memory, and then you can always go back to it. So I've just grabbed a couple books out here. This is the I don't know, Epictetus, and if you can see, camera there. You can see in the corners I've like folded the pages, and where is it? It is here. There. So you see how I've like folded the pages and stuff, and I can go to the folded pages and find absolutely nothing on them. What the hell? Here. And then you see I've like made notes in it, I've written in it, I've written something there. And I've also got those little flaps on top. Whenever you get an insight, what you do is you fold the page or highlight it or whatever the hell you want to do to it. And then once you finish reading the book, toss it away, fucking leave it for like a month, and then come back to it, with a little stack of cards in your hand, and write all your little insights in there, and you throw it in that damn box, just like that. That's exactly what's said in that video that I'll throw at the very bottom of the description, so you have to read all the other stuff that you should definitely look at. Free course. Sorry. And then I'm so lost. So yeah, that video, that's the same thing that I just explained. How to put the thing. You make your notes in the book, and then come back to the book, write it down on the card, chuck the card in the thing. That's exactly what he says in the video. And the video is by Ryan Holiday as well. This is his book. It's another example, more extreme example. I've done a lot more. I've had a lot more insights in this book. Like, it's made a huge dent in it on both sides. And yeah, literally like every third page or so, there's so many like insights in here. And all of those insights at the end of the year, obviously. Oh, I could probably start now. I'd just go through them with like a little note card in my hand. So I'd have the note card in my hand. It's literally just these things, and then get my fancy pen out, get my pen out, and then go through the book, read the thing, read the insight, and then just write it down on the card. Oh, it came from this book, this page, if I really want to write down the page it came in, and then put it in the category and just throw it in this little thing, just like that. I've learned something new, I've gained a new insight, and then I can take action on it, because it's entered the long-term memory. I'm probably going to remember this thing for a lot longer now than if I just read it and thought, that's cool. It's the same thing as when you're like reading a Kindle. I don't know if you have one or whatever, but when you like make your highlight and then you make the note, it's the exact same thing. It's just this time is you store them all in like one area, so you can come back to it and you can learn like a gazillion things. It's really, really good, really useful. So that's the note card method. That is why you should learn, how to learn, and then this fancy little tip here that will, I like it a lot. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely useful for you. Now, top link in the description. Okay, that's the link there. I can actually move myself up. It's very good. I've got a free course in there. I made it for like mental health and stuff. You should definitely go check it out. I will obviously be posting all this stuff in there. It's like a community thing. It's free. Just make an account with this thing. It's not sketchy. There's millions of users on it already. It's very good. So join that link. I'll see you in there. You can send me a message and make a post, ask a question. I'll be there. I'll respond to it. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.